Disclaimer, this video is completely leak-free and is based on guessing. Basically, nothing is factual, so don't take it 100% as correct. Please keep comments leak-free. Go to a different channel if you really want to leak, so I don't get banned by MiHoYo. Thank you. Nahida is the next Archon coming to Genshin Impact, and as a Yae Miko main, I was thinking, could she be the next new support for Yae Miko? Of course, I thought about it, and here are 5 conditions where I think she might actually be the best. Remember, these are just guesses based on my 2-year experience of playing this game. Nahida will be strong. Every Archon in this game is strong. Not a single one is considered to be useless for the general player base. All have their unique uses, and personally, from playing all 3 of them and having all 3 of them for a long time, they all are nice to have. So why would Nahida be an exception? It just doesn't make sense to me. All have their unique uses. 2 of the 3 are supports, and even if she is weak, I'm sure the protest will come from the player base if she is not strong. However, I do believe this is a low possibility because MiHoYo probably have learned the weak Archons are something that the player base don't like with their release of Zhongli. Or maybe that's just because everyone was so hyped for Zhongli. I don't know. But I think enough people care about Nahida and the Archon and the story quest. There's just no way I see Nahida being weak. She just has to be strong. It makes sense. Nahida will be a support. This might be like a wild guess. That makes 0 sense to some of you, but I really think she will be a support. Now, I know the lore does not equal the character design. In the first 2 story quests before the desert, she was playing a supportive role for the Traveler. Just from how she looks, how she was in the story quests so far, and just the overall feel that the character gives. You know, some characters give different feels from their design and just how they look. And I think Nahida personally gives support vibes. Listen, I've seen a lot of characters over the 2 years, and you can just distinguish who does damage and who doesn't, based off their looks and design. I know they're not directly related, but the character's personality in the story quest, I feel like gives some hints towards what type of character they will be in the game. The current short chibi characters in the game are Diona, Dori, Klee, Chichi, Sanyu, and Klee is the only real DPS out of the 5 so far, and Nahida would become number 6. Nahida will be a buffing or amping support. Now this take is a huge long shot because of all the reasoning, but it somehow makes sense to me. Out of all the Archons, there's no real support buffing or damage amplifying units. Sure, only reduces elemental and physical resistance, but he doesn't actually give stats to the user. Since she is also Dendro, I could see the combo of her being a buffing support and a Dendro applicator being strong for Yae Miko. The only reason Dendro MC is good for Yae is because they give EM to the whole party without having to level up any talents. But if support who is an Archon is coming out, how much better could Nahida be for Yae Miko instead of Dendro MC? The ceiling is definitely high if that is the case, making me really excited for what is to come. Nahida's weapon and limited weapon are also a potential reason for her being a good support. Supports like Venti and Kazuha have some of the best weapons for giving stats to a team, and if MiHoYo has any importance placed on Nahida, one of the 7 Archons in the game, doesn't it just make sense that her weapon will also be very strong? Personally, to me, she looks like a Catalyst user, if I had to take a guess. So if there is a weapon that were to come out, it would be the weapon series Millennial Movement, aka Freedom Sworn or Elegy for Catalyst. And if you notice in my past 3 videos, I didn't even have this weapon series that gives EM and attack to your characters, which is insane to me because 1, if I get hands on a weapon like this, I even do even more damage for Yae Miko, and if a potential support has that kind of weapon, my Yae Miko's damage is gonna be insanely high compared to what it is right now. That's why I'm so hyped for her. She has the potential to have a Catalyst weapon that buffs an entire team. The only one that really comes to mind for me as a Catalyst is Thrilling Tales, and Thrilling Tales is a 3-star weapon as a buffing weapon. So if you can have the Dendro Archon with a 5-star buffing weapon, it just seems like an insane combo for support. And the final one that I think is gonna make or break Nahida for Yae Miko will be her playstyle. If she is somewhat like a use abilities and swamp as a buffer character like Bennett, all the points I made before would be important. And if this one is the most accurate one, I believe it is fine to argue she could be a decent support for Yae. Maybe not the best, but combining with all the points together, I can see a chance where she can be. Now combining these 5 points together, she will be strong, she will be support, she will be a buffing or amping support, her weapon, and her playstyle. Obviously these are all points that make support a support. Their entire design is how they become a support. Now what do you think about my points? The 2 points that I think are the most important are 1, that she's strong, and number 3, that she will be able to buff her team. We don't need a support that's completely made to be Yae Miko's support. There's probably characters that will be better paired with her, but I think as long as she's Dendro, applies Dendro, and she buffs the team, boom. That's the only thing you need for her to be a support for Yae Miko. That's it. Now I don't understand this video is kind of theoretical and doesn't really have any solid evidence behind it, but I mean, all we can hope for is all we can do is wait and see if the Dendro Archon will be a good support for Yae Miko. And when that time comes, we'll know then, and I'll make a video about it. Sorry that this video might not be the greatest that I have, but I have no other ideas with this one. I'm just really excited, you know? Just excited for what can happen using no leaks, just theorizing about the potential of Yae Miko and Nahida. So if you're also hyped for Yae Miko, remember to subscribe, like, check out my socials, and my For More Yae mains. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye!